Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry and I'm a blue dot in a red state utilizing tarot to help us navigate these very interesting times we've got going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be, I'm going to be looking at Congresswoman McIver. She was had charges brought up against her about visiting the detention center in Newark, New Jersey. This was the same incident where the mayor was arrested and then he had since been released. She was allowed a tour and then after the fact was brought up on, I don't know, assault charges, against a ICE or, whatever the charges were. Since then, Nancy Mace has has filed a motion for her to be expelled from Congress. However, that she's not forcing a vote on that yet. So what I want to look at is this just going to be another part of their MO of, we're going to have the big photo op and then, nothing really comes of it. So that's kind of what I want to look at today. So as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. And as I'm shuffling and getting ready here, if you could like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. That kind of helps grow my channel. So looking at what is happening with Congresswoman McIver, just a base reading. Where is this going to go with this, with these charges against her? Okay, entertainment purposes only. The heart of this is High Priestess. The High Priestess is one of... I always kind of sigh with this because this is saying the answers are there, but they're beneath the surface. Okay, it's like, that's not why I'm asking. I'm asking for the answers. Okay, so this is saying, may have to dig just a little deeper, or it's saying, there's more going on behind the scenes than what we're privy to. So let's see if we can pull that curtain back a little bit to see kind of what's going on with this. The challenge of this is Page of Pentacles. When it comes to the Department of Justice, what I have been getting the pages as the lawyers in there, and they're coming up as pages because they really don't have a legal leg to stand on. So this is telling me, somebody who's not either well versed in the law or they're manipulating the law in a way that was never intended to be. Okay, so this is looking beneath the surface, trying to find a law that we can use. But this card is also one of, pages really aren't that committed. It's like, eh. So, they, by pressing her with those charges, by, charging her, pressing those charges against her, that's what they wanted to accomplish. That was the message. Okay. They don't really care about defending it down the road. And I almost feel like that thing with Nancy Mace, that's just her towing the line. That's, them trying to flex those muscles, showing this is what we can do to you. Okay. That's the feeling I'm getting with this. Let's see if there's going to be any additional action. The options are, what else can we do? This is the fox is loose in the hen house. How else can we be atrocious and awful and horrendous? How else can we manipulate the law and throw all norms out the window? Okay, that all of that is right here. So their options are, how can we be even more horrendous? How can we continue being horrendous? How can we continue manipulating the law so that we get these great little photo ops for our base? Okay, and the thing is that the base, they never get the follow-up on this. They probably don't even know. I mean, do they know that the charges have been dropped against the mayor? Who knows? But so not a lot of action here. And even the little bit of action card is it's not defendable. They're just going to keep doing the same thing. And Queen of Cups. Trying to show the Democrats who's in charge. Because of the past experiences, I almost wonder if they're not, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't say, well, look at what Nancy Pelosi did to, Trader Green, by stripping her of her committee's assignments. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting with that card there of, well, you did this to us, so now we're going to do it to you. That's real mature. And there was absolute reason to strip Trader Green of all of her assignments. So, and there's really nothing here that would legitimize what they're doing, what the Republicans are doing. Okay. Our recent influences messaging, that's all this is. It's a photo op messaging. And for Mad King Don. Okay, so I'm going to ask just some real quick questions here. Of is this going to go anywhere? Because right now it's showing that it's not even defendable in court. So is this going to go anywhere? And with going anywhere, their victory was, I think, the photo op. Like they're already claiming victory because of what they did. But I don't think that they have a leg to stay. I don't think this is going anywhere. Will she be expelled from Congress? Will she be expelled from Congress? Very passionate. This is not a real strong commitment card to this. They're really passionate about it, but I don't think that they will. I think they're going to kind of just leave that. The Hermit card is like a very narrow path, like seeking, within. And so I kind of am like, I think they're just going to, the feeling I'm getting from the Hermit card is they're just going to be like leaving those, that filing in dark. That's all there. So I don't, anything else that we need to know about this? With her specifically. And with anything else, she's fighting this. More practical approach going forward. And yeah, there's going to be, the law is on, I'm seeing like the law is on her side. The judge, I wouldn't even be surprised if the judge doesn't throw this out. Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting with this, is that this was just a big photo op. That's all it is. It's a photo op. And that they've been doing this. I would expect it to continue. They had hauled James Comey in. I mean, it's okay for them to do, 86-46, but oh, God forbid, 86-47, can't have that. And that was, I think even Matt Gaetz was, talking about that in a post about, 86, what was it, 86, Mitch McConnell and, whatever. So, yeah, it just looks like this is now going to be the new normal for them of arresting Democrats, arresting mayors, arresting, judges. I don't see it going anywhere. I think that it's pretty much going to be thrown out of court. I mean, that's kind of where I'm seeing with that. Where am I on time here? I'm going to ask real quick. I was going to do a different, I want to do a follow-up on the Judge Dugan and what is going to be happening with hers. She was in, there was a grand jury. She was indicted. I'm shocked. I know that Glenn Kirshner, I watched his Justice Matters, and he was saying this is really flimsy. Like, this is not going anywhere. So I just kind of want to do a quick check-in on and update on Judge Hannah Dugan. Where is that going to go? Judge Hannah Dugan. Where is that going to go now that she's been indicted? And I kind of wonder, I'm looking here. Yeah, I don't have that. It seemed like I read somewhere that there was a hearing that was coming up in July, and I can't remember. I think that might be her hearing. So here is, I Make America Great Again. I have been kind of, in the last couple of readings, seeing this kind of as MAGA. A return to happier times, which should be, like it's the nostalgia card. But when it comes to, MAGA, we're going to always read it in a lower energy. And I mean, Make America Great Again and MAGA is about as low energy as you can get. So the challenge here is, yeah, they have I have been feeling from this is find me the law that I can manipulate. Shine the light into the dark crevices so that we can find a law that we can use to justify what we're doing. Now, that is definitely the lower energy of this card. This card in a higher energy should be like going within and seeking a righteous path. They're going within and not seeking a righteous path. They're seeking the give us what we want path. Okay. The options, this is French. This is one of friendship. So this is telling me that this is definitely, you know, an out of balance friendship. They are manipulating the law to be, you know, for MAGA. You know, this is not at all what the law was ever intended to be. Four of Swords, laying in rest. I don't know that this is going to go anywhere, really. I kind of wonder if this is not MAGA feeling left out in the cold and looking, ships coming in, looking to a new, to the future. I'm gonna say that, you know, and this really could be where the judge is right now. You know, they have temporarily suspended her just, you know, as she's going through the court stuff right now. So it's just a temporary thing. It kind of almost made it sound like it was like a procedural thing, like, well, you know, because this happened, we have to put you on leave just, you know, as you get through this. And that so she's assembled quite the team. And so I think that they will prevail. If it doesn't get thrown out, I will be surprised. But yes, I think that she prevails in this. So, yeah, I am kind of seeing with this that this has nothing to do with upholding the law by MAGA. This has everything to do with the photo op and getting that out there on the, you know, right wing media. And then they never get the follow-up, you know, with that. So all they know is that, you know, that MAGA, that they're out there arresting anybody that stands in the way of this administration. When really it's like they're arresting people and there's no legal basis. And it's not me saying that. It's not the card saying that. That's the court saying that. So I would just expect more of that. Okay. So with the Congresswoman, I don't see that going anywhere. I mean, she may have to go to court, but, you know, it's like I see that being thrown out. I don't see her being thrown out of Congress. I definitely see that, you know, this administration, you know, is going to continue doing this. You know, we've got the Apprentice White House edition, and they're all vying for, you know, that top spot. So, you know, how horrendous can we be? And every time they do something like that, you know, Trump gives them a little thumbs up. You know, he's so happy, you know, so proud of you. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're vying for his attention, and they're just doing it in the most horrendous, awful way possible. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So with that, that's kind of what I got today. So just expect more of the same, and it goes nowhere. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to link the Judge Dugan. I've got her reading up here that I will link, and then also subscribe. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.